Welcome back to FreightWaves Now on this beautiful Monday morning here in Freight Alley, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And our next guest today, we're welcoming someone who is no stranger to our FreightWaves airwaves. She's been on Put That Coffee Down with Kevin Hill. She's been featured on several of our other shows as well. We've got Nicole Glenn here from Candor Expedite. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Anthony?
I'm doing well. Excited to be here. Excited to finally talk to Nicole. I'm, like you said, been here in so many shows. Never had a chance to connect. So welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nicole, first things first, give everybody who maybe missed those awesome episodes of Put That Coffee Down just a little bit of information about who you are, what you do at Candor Expedite.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the owner of Candor Expedite, which is a company that's about 4 years old that specializes in hot shot ground services, as well as exclusive white glove final mile deliveries.
And so you guys, I remember from that PTCD episode, you guys are really specialized on making things as good, as great as they can be, and kind of taking what typically, isn't given a thought of like, oh, hotshot services, maybe you don't care about my freight as much. You guys are really great about going that extra mile to make people care, right?
For sure. It's all about the details when you're talking about critical shipping. You need to put a bow on every single delivery from start to finish.
So, Nicole, one of the things I think of when I think about anything expedited is the urgency and the need and the importance. I can only imagine how critical communication is. How's that approach that
Yes.
you take there?
It's the most important piece. It's what really makes everything happen. So you have to make sure that you are going above and beyond with that piece of service. It actually bleeds into everything from, taking an order all the way through every single step. So that way the customer can just feel like, all right, I can do other things. I can do what's important and focus on my normal job and let this other piece go. But it's tying everyone together. It's taking a customer service team as well as a consignee all the way through, just letting them know it's handled. So most important part of the whole thing.
So when you guys talk a little bit about expediting freight, there's kind of, like you said, that sense of urgency and that need to have what you want right about now. Tell us a little bit about how that urgency and that need has transformed over the last year and how you guys have adapted to meet those transforming needs.
Well, it has changed because of technology, so people are looking for answers and things right away. I think the Amazon effect has really affected everything. People want something delivered on their door, whether they're a shipper, a consignee, or a consumer within 2 days, right? It seems to be the norm now for a lot of people. So with us, we've also transformed really the commodities of things that we're handling. So we went from a lot of like ATMs and machine parts up to medical devices now, making sure that those are brought in. We dealt with a lot of respirators during COVID, hand sanitizer. So the commodities changed really overnight. And so those really haven't gone down. Now we've seen an influx of clients on those types of commodities.
So, Nicole, kind of sticking on that, you said that you've seen those influx of those types of commodities. Moving forward, you just mentioned that you kind of see that kind of remaining the same. Do you think that's going to be something that we see throughout 2021? I know a lot of things are unprecedented, but do you think there's going to be any kind of changes in industries that we're going to see really kind of a flux or a pop up in this expedited freight?
Well, again, it's really that consumer side of things. I know it's Expedite seems to be everything now, now, now. And like I said, consumers are looking for their products. So I think we'll see an increase of more B2C type of materials. But yeah, I think it's going to continue on like this. I do think through the first quarter, at least, of next year, from everything that we hear and everything's so backlogged, it's a domino effect. It starts with something as simple as building materials, that are on back order and things coming in from overseas. And it just goes through the whole supply chain and it does affect the expedited side of the business for sure.
And so you've mentioned that you guys really pride yourselves on the white glove service and putting a bow on every shipment that you guys deliver. Tell me about how important you think it is to kind of change the industry standard to get everybody up to speed with this, and how important it is not only for expedited freight, but maybe those large carriers and those large shippers too, to have this expectation that everything is taken care of to a T and that the improvements that it can make for our industry when people behave that way.
Oh, for sure. I think that is something that is lacking. And I think as the market becomes more and more saturated with new providers, we see brokerages popping up every single day. We see carriers even coming into the market and starting up shop. I think as time progresses, it's not really a want anymore. It's required to be competitive in the market. Technology again is doing that. It's allowing people to not have to touch every single shipment, every single stage. So I think it's going to just continually improve with that and just feed to our customers where they can just have that at their fingertips at any time with clicking an app or, checking an email. It should always be there. And I think as more companies step into this space, they're going to see that it's required or they will get knocked out very quickly, very, very quickly.
So, Nicole, one of the things that you just mentioned was the influx of technology within this segment or this industry. What are some of the efficiencies that you're really seeing technology drive over the last year or so?
Well, for us, we've actually built our first application. It's called the Circle. And so the whole focus of that is to tie our carrier base, our great carrier base, not just throwing things out to a load board and doing this. It's more of approach with qualified, great companies and putting that out to our customer base so that way they can get pricing efficiently within 10 minutes. They have a truck in hand that's ready to go. So simple things like that in our company it's coming out, but we see that companies like Trucker Tools and Four Kites, they're all creating more of that efficiency piece. So clients have that transparency on where their freight is all the time.
And so when there's that influx of technology and people start using more tech, obviously it cuts down on the human error of things, right? You're not missing steps and you're not missing those little intricacies that can get lost in the shuffle of things. But it also can tend to lose that human touch and the human element of actually interacting with someone that's not an application or just a website or just a Google Doc to put in your information. Do you think that there's going to be any kind of like a risk reward situation as people move more towards technology and away from people? Or do we need to find a healthy balance between people behind the tech?
Oh, I think it definitely has to have a healthy balance, a good ratio. Even with our team, it's just I make them do something as simple as just check in on every single shipment so that way they know what's going on and they can react. As great as technology is, and we can manage by exception, there's still errors. I know we're saying it does take errors out. There's errors with getting drivers to be on applications, utilizing that, enforcing that, where they're putting that information in there. So I think that healthy balance is good, and as well as the customer service side of things. I think we'll see more people just making sure that the client is happy with how things are going. And I also think you need to be able to create a solution, with technology. It does give concepts on how to create solutions, but not all the way when there's a breakdown. It's not going to just tie everything back together. You're going to need a human touch in there for sure.
So, Nicole, put you a little bit on the spot here. I mean, throughout 2021, we are seeing a rapid change. I mean, we're seeing a lot of the economy coming back to life. When we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of times things can get lost in the wash. Are you seeing any type of underlying trends that you think others in the industry should be on the lookout for that you're monitoring closely?
Ooh, that is a very good question. To be honest with you, I'm not just trying to say no to say no. I think if for us, and what I see on a day to day, it's just keeping up with how much volume is coming in and making sure that you're staffed efficiently with the right amount of people. I think a lot of companies want to just go, hey, we're doing good. Let's capitalize this with as much as we can. I think, again, it's just making sure that you have the right individuals in your company and watching everything thoroughly because it's critical. Like we've been saying consistently throughout chatting, that communication piece and those errors can really turn something upside down for your company.
And so, Nicole, we've got about 2.5 minutes left. Let's change gears a little bit to talk about your involvement with Ladies Leadership Coalition. This is something that started pretty recently, and it kind of brings together all of these amazing, awesome women to kind of talk about their leadership roles in the industry. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with that.
So we started that. We're going to have our third episode this Wednesday. And the concept is to bring women together to not only lift them in transportation, but to just lift them in business. As people are starting their careers or at certain stages of their careers, they only know what they know. And so it's just trying to get answers to people when they have questions and give them that just resource, So we have 6 women that are on this panel that are all business owners in some sort. They are all in transportation as of right now, but we're just hoping to, get a great audience that has a need for it. We don't see a lot of that in transportation. We don't have a lot of women focus groups to elevate and lift women in logistics, let alone in business. So
It's
I decided, oh, I'm sorry. Go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. Keep going. You keep going. You keep going.
I was just going to say that I decided to start this. And so it was great to like interview all of these women, and they're all just so passionate about helping others.
I was gonna say it's pretty awesome to see, especially as someone who is just a brand new fledgling into her career in transportation. It's
Yeah.
kind of intimidating to walk in here and be like, okay, I know what I know, but there is so much more to learn. And it is also really inspiring to see not only just women who are maybe by themselves, but it's a group of them. So talk to me a little bit about, just give me like a really quick synopsis about what your guys' goals are in the near term.
Well, we're still learning on what it is we're exactly wanting to do. We've talked about it. We're trying to really just create content for people that will help them. That's one of the things that we've been focused on is giving back. So we started a new concept of these mini series. So we're looking for maybe not women business owners, but women who are taking those certain steps in their career and then bringing experts that have been successful, whether it's an author or someone who's led a company to come on and just answer additional questions. So it's not just the 6 of us. It'll hopefully grow and multiply with who's going to be a part of it.
Awesome, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us today on FreightWaves Now. Absolutely go give them a follow on LinkedIn, Ladies Leadership Coalition. It's great to follow. Their minisodes are awesome, and obviously they have goals to do big things.